Don't adjust your TV screens. You are seeing what you are seeing right now. We are back. It is your host, Josh Burton, and joining me yet again for another season, my good friend, Michael DeRosa. The ECB guys are back. We kind of lied a little bit the last time we talked to you for episode 229. It was roughly 2 months ago. We said that we'd be more active, but there is good reasons behind all of our absence here. We will explain that here in just a minute, but we are happy to be back. We are now, DeRosa, I think 50-some days, 49 days from the start of official college basketball season. It is time to get our ass in gear as we are getting closer to college basketball. So we are back in a more full-time basis here, getting ready for the month of October where exhibitions and everything begin. And then, of course, November, real games begin. DeRosa, it's good to be back with you, my friend. I know it's been a long 2 months, but we're back and we're ready to go.
It's been too damn long, man. I might be a little rusty, you know. It's like I'm looking at with some of the things we're talking about. It's like, ooh, I haven't done the normal lock-in research I usually do around this time. But it's also September, so we got some time. We'll catch up. But yeah, definitely looking forward to finally talking some damn hoops. You know, we're getting closer, Josh. We're getting closer to the season. Best time of the year.
Yeah, man. I think 49 days roughly. I think it's 7 weeks from tonight. I believe college hoops is back. I could be wrong on my math there, but look at our guy Connor. It never fails. 2 months off, it doesn't matter. As soon as we start the show, Connor McCabe's showing love. We're already starting to get in season form. I really appreciate that. As always, we are live on the YouTube and the Twitter. If you're following along with us live on this Monday evening, early afternoon, or I guess late afternoon, early evening, we appreciate you leaving comments below. We will get to them as always. So let's go ahead and explain the 2 months here because it's been crazy in my world. I know, DeRosa, you've had a lot going on as well. Let's start with Trevor. Our guy Trevor, been with us last couple of years as well. He made the announcement on his own page, so I feel comfortable talking about it here. Stepping away from podcasting, starting a family. His wife is pregnant, so they are having their first child, which is really, really exciting. Makes sense why he's stepping away from the podcast game. Trevor is always going to be a part of the team, part of the family. We appreciate his contributions. Anytime he gets froggy, wants to hop on and talk some hoops, he knows he's got a spot with us here. But starting a family, man. So let's address that first. We are happy for our guy Trevor and his wife. He's going to be a parent, man. He's going to be a dad, so that's exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah, Trevor's the man. So very, very happy for him. He's moving up in the world, man. And yeah, as you mentioned, if he ever needs a spot, he knows he's got one.
I'll talk about some of my personal stuff. Why 2 months? Because that is longer than any break that I can think we've ever had since starting this. So let's see. Towards the end of the year, my soon-to-be wife dealt with breast cancer, got through that. Everything's good. Got through the radiation treatment, so we're good on that front for now. Unfortunately, her mom been sick with cancer. We've talked about that on the show before. She passed away at the beginning of August, so we dealt with that. I'm getting married in next month in October, and then you just throw in normal, regular, work life stuff. And so the 2 months in a way were needed because I don't think during any of that time I could have functioned talking college hoops, even though I can talk in my sleep. I just didn't feel like it was the right time. And then, DeRosa, I'm sure you've had a lot going on in the last couple of months to kind of explain our absence here lately.
Yeah, decent amount going on, but I don't really want to delve into it. Just very excited to finally be back, Definitely warranted the 2 months off, but we're hoping we can kick into gear now, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan from here on out. We're going to be more active again. I mean, it's weird. I had a conversation at work today about normally right now we would be working on the magazine. As we made an announcement a while back, no magazine this year. It's very, very time consuming. We're at least going to take a year off. We'll reevaluate. Maybe we come back next year with one or a different version of it. But it is a little weird because normally my nights through September, especially, just about every night through September is up till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. writing on that damn magazine. So that's a little weird, but it is kind of nice, too, to get some extra sleep.
The amount of time I put in last year to finding every possible detail you could on the MEAC and the SWAC was way too much. If you needed a foremost expert on those conferences in November, it was me. I was the guy. I mean, I was like going to like the Dominican Republic page to trying to see who did well in what exhibition, who's on the team, because they wouldn't put out rosters until like some of the teams didn't put out official rosters until after we dropped the magazine. And it's like, okay, I got to find out who's on the team, who are some of the players. It's like I'm trying to find them on their Instagram, their Twitter, whatever, confirming their announcement. Trying to be like, okay, I saw this guy in this video. Who does he look like? I think he's this guy. Doing all that. It was a lot. So yeah, definitely getting a little bit off that. That was, I mean, it was a lot of fun last year. Don't get me wrong. I don't regret it for less than a second. It was a ton of fun, but to just sit back and be like, all right, I'll take the year. Someone else can be the MEAC and SWAC expert. You guys can have that. And then I'm coming back for my throne next year. That's my throne. I'm taking it back.
Yeah, I mean, very time consuming. And let's not get it twisted. Just because we're not dropping a magazine does not mean between the two of us, we won't have all this knowledge ready to go for the season. Oh, yeah. As you know about us, we will know. We will know. DeRosa, a couple pieces here that I want to talk about while we've, that's happened during the 2 months here. Mm-hmm. We got teased. Like, we got teased a little bit here about college basketball video game, which is near and dear to my heart, being a long-time, lifelong video game person. EA, what was it, about a month and a half ago, dropped a little teaser that they were back in the market of going to give us a new college hoops game that was scheduled to come out in like 2028, 2029, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And then you saw 2K kind of dip their toe in the water and work, oh, shit, may get 2 college basketball video games again, like it used to be. Then it came out a week or so ago that EA dropped out of the race. 2K's taken over, and the press release that 2K released just pissed us all off because they're like, we're back in college basketball, and we're ready to give you the experience of that you love in March Madness with over 100 teams. And it's going to be an add-on to NBA 2K, the franchise, not a standalone game as we know right now. And it just kind of let the wind out of all of our sails who've been for 15 years expecting and wanting and begging for a standalone college basketball game that has all 64 college hoops teams. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to start a road to glory with Delaware State and work your way up to where you're eventually taking over a gigantic program, that's what you do. Oh, just 100 teams and an add-on to NBA 2K doesn't do it for me. I think 2K, if this is the model they're going for and they thought that they were releasing some kind of gigantic news, did not read the temperature of the room.
I mean, 2K is just, don't get me wrong. I like money. Like if someone's like, Michael, I'll give you $5 to do this, I'm probably doing it. That said, 2K is the most money-hungry corporation, I think, ever. And you are also making a product that you want people to enjoy. If we're making money, if we end up like someone sponsoring this show, right, we're making money, right? I still want the show to be good, That's dare I say, that's the most important part, right? 2K doesn't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the fans. It's bag, bag, bag. I remember I played 2K a ton. Jeez, right? Like 18, 19, 20, those games, right? And then COVID came, and it's like, okay, well, at least I'll have a ton of time to play video games. I logged into a game of 2K, like probably like around the time like full lockdown was like really starting, right? I played a game, got to halftime. I was playing like my team. That was my mode of choice personally. And it was like, all right, I was up like 25, and the dude quit. And I was just like, that just wasn't fun. And then I haven't played 2K since. That was the last time I played. And would it get me back? Yes, but do I want this game to be DLC in the My Team mode? No, I want to create a Road to the Glory team. I want to take Howard to a national title. I want to reclaim my SWAC champion. Like, I want to be the SWAC guy. I'm taking freaking Arkansas Pine Bluff, and we're winning a title. Like, that's happening. So, yeah, it was annoying. But, I mean, 2K's pitch won out. Game is game,
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. It's going to be a DLC. It's going to be NBA arenas with college logos slapped on it, and it's not going to feel authentic. And it's going to be some weird, like, oh, now we can give you an Anthony Davis Kentucky card for my team. It's like,
Mhm.
really? Like, oh, we get the jerseys. Okay. Like the fun of like the old college hoops games and the old um, NCAA like 9 and 10 was the recruiting.
Mhm.
Like, how are they going to implement recruiting with 100 I don't know. I'm just super disappointed. We want a standalone college basketball game that is authentic and fun and true to life to the sport we love, or just don't give us anything. We've waited this long. Like, don't give us anything.
I'm kind of with you, but now they know there's a market for it, so they're going to give us something. And man, I was going to be so cheesy. Like, oh my god, just I would. You remember? You ever played? You played a bunch of old. Did you play a bunch of old like 2Ks and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Do you
Oh
remember
yeah.
how good Gerald Green was in 2K?
Yeah.
Dude, I would have recruited a team with like 15 Gerald Greens. I would have had so much fun. Threes and lobs, defense optional. It doesn't matter. I'm not scoring you. I'm throwing lobs from half court and Joe Green's going between his legs. That would have happened every time. But now that ain't happening. Now that ain't happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Give us a good college basketball game. We're begging you. Hey,
I don't have
this
a
just
console.
came
I
out.
would have bought one for a good college game. I don't know if I'm buying one for 2K redo. Like that ain't happening.
Well, look, you're going to have to buy, if it is, let's just say a DLC, you're going to spend $60, $70 on the 2K game. And then the DLC is probably going to be like another, let's be honest, $50 or $60.
Mhm.
It's like, am I really going to spend that much on just an add on? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to get your thoughts on something. And this just came across the Twitter feed, I guess from an hour ago. Field 68 revealed their preseason top 25. This is from On3. They tagged Field 68. So I want to get your thoughts. I'll read them off real quick. Just kind of, some of these seem a little off, but I mean, it's their opinion. 1 Purdue, 2 Houston, 3 Florida,
Too high.
4 UConn, 5 Duke, 6 Louisville, 7 Kentucky, 8 St. John's, 9 Texas Tech, 10 Michigan. Top 10, I'll read 11 through 25 here in just a minute, but Florida seems way too high at 3. I get it, Xavier Lee, they've got him in, they got Boogie Fland in, very, very good backcourt. They bring in Thomas Halfback, but I get the pieces, but 3 seems very high for the defending champs.
Yeah, I don't love the depth on that team. The depth was kind of one of their strengths last year. I don't think they have that, and I don't think the guards are nearly as good as they were last year. I think a lot of people are really high on Xavier Lee. I think I'm definitely lower on Xavier Lee than most. In turn, I think a lot of people are lower. Like people are expecting Lee to be the better guard than Fland. I think Fland's going to be better. I think that's kind of a hot take personally, just based on what I've seen through the internet. But I don't know. Lee was a guy that kind of struggled to me against higher tier opposition. And I think Boogie Fland with another year that he's now finally not hurt, I think he's going to be better. So I think that's one where that boy nice side of my brain is talking more than the analytical side. But yeah, I still think 3 is too high. They're still going to have one of the better front courts in the country. Don't get me wrong. Like we all know they are, but I also don't know how you're going to fit Howe, Condon, and Chinyelu on the same court at the same time, because you're going to have to play those 3 a lot. And then the depth at guard, I don't think is great. I don't know. I think 3 is too high. I would have Florida outside my top 10 personally.
Well, me too. And we talked about it a couple months ago when we did our way, way too early. I don't think either one of us had Florida in the top 10. I'd have to go back and look. But
So.
but here's the thing. Like, we know Xavier Lee, and I agree with everything you said. When he played like upper competition, he struggled a little bit. Boogie Fland was very good when healthy at Arkansas last year. But what separated Florida last year, besides the depth and all that, their guards made the toughest shots, like just big money, big time shots. Can Lee and Fland produce that at the level that they're going to be expected to for 30 plus games through SEC, non-conference, and NCAA tournament? I don't know, because that's what made in part Florida so special last year, is that if they needed a shot made, they had a guard, take your pick, that was going to make it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And yeah, I don't think those guys are on the same level. And granted, everyone in the country for the most part is worse because we lost the 5th year. So that's a class of guys that aren't playing that were last year. But even so, I still think this team is not better than all their peers. I think 3 is ranking them, I think, even a little above their ceiling. I don't know if I'd view them as a national title contender today.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I do think they'll be very good, but 3 seems a little high, but again, it could be the reigning national champs get love kind of deal. I don't have a problem, I guess, with anybody else in the top 10. I know your thoughts on St. John's. They have them 8th, borderline top 10-ish.
I think that's fair. I'm definitely going to be a little lower on St. John's, but like I think the part that like what gets me with them is like, do I think they're top 5? No. I'd probably have them like 12 to 15. So like at 8, like that's not too crazy to me. Like it's college basketball. Things are kind of crazy. Like if I had St. John's at like 10 and they have them at 8, it's like, oh, that's such a big difference. It's like, it's really not. Like it's college basketball. Dumb things happen any day. It could happen to you, it could happen the other way. So like the gap isn't as wide as I kind of think it is versus some people have St. John's at 3. It's like, that's too high. I still think 8's too high. I'd have them lower, but I haven't gone through every team in the country and been like, okay, this is exactly where I'm going to have St. John's. But like 15 to me feels about around where I'm going to have them. But 8, I don't think is too egregious. I am just not high on that group playmaking. One thing I'm going to do this now. One thing with St. John's is we're all getting so hyped about them. It's like, oh yeah, they have so many great shooters. Oh man, they're going to be such a great shooting team this year, which one takes away from their defense, which was by far their best unit last year, was second best in the country. And 2, you want to know how you make shots easier, Josh? I don't know if you know this. I might be breaking some basketball news here, so you can, get your news breaking ears on. If you're wide open and catch and shoot, if someone creates the shot for you, it's much easier to catch and shoot versus it is to go tween, snatch back, hezzy, pull up 3 in your eye. Versus if I'm wide open in the corner and catching and shooting. Who's creating those shots for St. John's? Ian Jackson was not a creator last year. He was 3rd or 4th best guard on UNC last year. Isaiah Sellers isn't creating nothing. Bryce Hopkins isn't a creator. Like, who is creating these shots? I don't see it. I think they're very talented. I trust Pitino to make it work to some extent, but I mean, I have him 15th, so I trust him to make it work to a pretty big extent. But no, I think that team is overrated. And if I get burnt by it, I get burnt by it. It's not going to be the first time, Josh, and it won't be the last.
11 through 25, I'll read them off real quick. BYU, Arkansas, UCLA, Alabama, Auburn, Kansas 16, Arizona 17, Iowa State 18, Illinois 19, North Carolina State 20, Wisconsin 21, Tennessee 22, Creighton 23, Gonzaga 24, and North Carolina rounds out the top 25.
I think they're too high on. I could even make the argument Duke, but I'll just say I think they're too high on the other 2 North Carolina teams. UNC is a team that I don't know enough about this Luka Bogovac. That's definitely not how you pronounce it, but I tried, kid. But Keon Evans being the point guard at UNC, he was the 3rd or 4th best guard on Colorado State last year.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't do it for me. Seth Trimble, I think, is a good piece. I need to know more about this Luka kid, so that's definitely something I'm going to look into as we get closer to the season. I even like Derek Dixon, who's their backup point guard, but he's a freshman for a freshman. Caleb Wilson, I think, is good, but like I don't think he's like a turn your season around best player kind of guy. And Visar, I think, is also fine, but like not special. I don't know. Do I think that team makes the tournament? Probably, but like I view them more as a fringe tournament team than a fringe top 25 team. And NC State's a team that I guess they're going to be my ACC version of St. John's this year. I'm not nearly as high on this group as other people are. Van Allen Lubin, there's a reason he wasn't playing more at UNC. It wasn't because Hubert Davis is an idiot. It was because he's a bad defender, because he's a 4. He can't play the 5. He's 6'8". He's not a 5. Offensively, can he hit some shots? Absolutely. Defensively, that's a 5. No, he's out of position a lot. He can't really guard pick and rolls, and he takes some bad shots. Darian Williams, is he a stud? Absolutely. He's legit, but like Terrence Arsenault is solid, but not great. McNeil is a guy people are really high on. He's a guy, again, I'd have to look into a little more, but like I see why people are high on him. And Trey Holloman, I think, is a fine starting point guard, but he's another floor guy. Williams is your best player, but like other than that, I don't know. I'm not particularly high on anybody else they have. I don't think anyone else they have is like stellar. So yeah, I don't have that team in my top 25. Again, they're another team that I think is probably making the tournament, but like I have them more as a bubble team than a legitimate, that's a 6 seed. They have them as maybe even a 5. Yeah, no, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, look, I like Carolina State. We will do some talking about them, obviously, coming
Mhm.
up. Anytime you get Will Wade, you're in the mix, and I like their pieces. I actually think when we do our preseason top 25, I will vote them in probably around that 20 to 25 range. But I get it. I get it. Look, it's going to be a wait and see approach. Look, what we're going to do for this first episode back, we're going to take some of these teams. We're going to go down their schedule, give the win loss record, and just kind of talk through some of this. Thought this was a good way to get back into the season, DeRosa. Before we do that, though, real quick, obviously practices, camps been going on. Any rumors that you've been hearing from just any teams that you want to just, I guess, stand out to you before we get into this?
Yeah, one thing I've heard that had me a little. This was a couple weeks ago, and this is about your team, so I imagine you'll have a stronger opinion on this than I do. Jaden Quaintance just deciding like they was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be back before the season, like without a doubt. And it's September, and he's still not cleared for non. I don't even think he's cleared for non-contact work. So
He
that
is.
was
He
the
just got
thing.
cleared for. He just got cleared for non-contact
Okay.
late last week.
Yeah. So I don't know. Part of the reason I like Kentucky as much as I did, and I don't remember where I had him when we did our top tens, but like I have him in that range of like legit top 10, 5 to 7 type, like or in that like elite tier. But part of the reason is because I think he's amazing. I think he's a legitimate All American if he's fully healthy. But if he's not playing in November, December, and it takes him a little bit to get into the game, so he's not at full strength until SEC play, that's a team I'm going to be lower on than I had them originally. So I think that one was like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, where do we think this kid is going to be before the season? That's something I'd like to know because I would bump down Kentucky in my rankings just because I think he's amazing. But without him, I think they're a very good team still, but like I wouldn't put them at the nationally elite tier until I at least know he's playing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. He's been doing like on court stuff,
Mhm.
so I'm not really sure where the recovery's at. I guess we'll just find out as the
Yeah.
days and weeks pass. But I would expect if he misses time at the end of the year, I don't think it'll be long. Like I think by December he's going to be good to go, like fully. Um, anything else you've heard?
I mean, the Big East is the conference I follow the closest. And I mean, for Georgetown, I know Langston Love has been like in and out of the lineup, and it's like Georgetown's going to need him to play. So it'd be another thing. I haven't heard anything like particularly stunning. Rothstein usually does his rounds, and it's like, oh, yeah, this guy's great. With Villanova, another thing that got me, it was like, yeah, Bryce Lindsey's coming off the bench there. And it's like, I thought he was going to be their best player. So that was one where it's like, well, best player's a stretch, but like I thought he was going to be like a very key guy. I liked him a lot as a transfer. So that was one where I was like, oh, okay, if he's being benched for Devin Askew, it means he is behind schedule. And that was something I was like, I didn't love that. But yeah, those are kind of like the main takeaways from me that I've kept up with. And then if we want to talk about Kansas for a little bit now before we get to him later, dude, it seems like Darren Peterson's going to be special. That would be my last take. The reports there are like people are like, okay, we knew he was amazing coming in, but like he might be better than we thought. And it's like, dude, damn.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had this conversation with Peyton today at work about Darren Peterson. But you brought up Kansas, so let's go ahead and do their schedule real quick.
Let's
If
do
you
it.
wouldn't mind pulling that up, let's
Yep.
talk about Kansas. They got a lottery pick projected to go, top 5 in the draft coming up this upcoming year. So they've
Mhm.
got a stud. But again, I mean, Trey White coming in as a transfer, Flory Badungan looking to have a breakout sophomore year after some struggles his freshman year. Elmarco Jackson and Jamari McDowell back as role players from last year. They bring in Melvin Council Jr. Like, as long as Bill Self's there, Kansas is always going to have talent. But the problem with the last couple of years is shooting.
Mhm.
Like, they've not been able to shoot the shit out of the ball at all. And I just worry. Like, Self's had health issues. And we've talked about and speculated it. Look, man, if Darren Peterson, I'm worried that there's going to be nights where if he doesn't drag them to the finish line, they're going to struggle again. I don't see a lot of shooting on this team yet again. If we look at their schedule, they open up with what should be a gimme against Green Bay November 3rd, and then they get North Carolina on the road. Like Carolina, whatever you think
Mhm.
about them, you got to go to the Dean Dome, and that's going to be interesting. What's your thoughts? Kind of talk us through
Yep.
some of this.
Yeah, so I mean, early season going to the Dean Dome, I think that's something. And Caleb Wilson, I'd imagine checks. I mean, 'cause Wilson, he's better defensively than offensively. So if he's checking Darren Peterson, I think that'd be a fun matchup, especially two freshmen. We'll see, obviously, how the team's game plan. It's November 7th, so I don't think they're thinking about that yet. But I think I'm going to be a little higher on this Kansas group than most. I like Melvin Council quite a bit. I think he's like a good gadget role player type that will translate up to this level. And he was like 14, 5, and 5 last year. I think he can give you like 12, 4, and 3, something like that. Like I like him quite a bit, actually. I think I'm higher on him than just about everybody. And maybe I get that wrong, but I like him quite a bit. I just think these guys will fill roles, and I think Flory's going to take another pretty huge jump. I think the Bill Self hate is a stretch, strong word, but I think there's an element of it that it's like, yeah, like there's questions. I think they're warranted, but I'm going to be punching back a bit this year. Like I think people have him in like the late teens, early 20s. I think I'm going to have him in like the early teens type range. I like this team a decent bit. I think they will go into the D-Dome and beat Carolina early season, make a little bit of a statement and get people like, okay, like this Kansas team is good, because I still think Flory could be a lottery pick as well. Maybe lottery's a stretch. Like I think he could still be a first round pick. And Darren Peterson, just based on what we've heard lately, he might be the number one pick. And it's pretty hard to lose with Bill Self, another elite pro player, and then the number one overall pick.
No, I totally agree with that, and I like the call with Flory. I think ceiling wise, we got to see more offensively, but teams will draft defensive potential
Agreed.
as well, shot blocking. I mean, you look at that other schedule. That Carolina game on the road is going to be a really good litmus test right away. You would think that they blow out Green Bay, Corpus Christi, and Princeton, especially without Xavier Lee. Then you take them up to Madison Square Garden against Duke, and I think this is where the first real big hurdle comes into play, because we know how talented Duke is. I think they have 2 losses before Thanksgiving. I think they lose to both Carolina on the road and Duke, because again, till they prove me otherwise with the shooting, I don't think they win either one of those ball games.
I could see it. Like going on the road is tough, and then Duke's a team we both had in our top 5-ish range. So yeah, I could see it.
If we scroll down the schedule, go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. No, please keep going.
Scroll down the schedule
Notre
here.
Dame. I mean, Notre Dame should be pretty.
Yeah, they've got some winnable games here. I mean, Key and Anthony. I mean, what Syracuse have, to be completely honest. Like Key and Anthony.
They're also good. I just don't trust Red Autry at all, but like they've got some like legitimate good pieces. Nate George from Georgia Tech was a guy I liked quite a bit a couple years back. JJ Starling's still there. Donnie Freeman was a top 5 recruit in the class prior to this one. They got some guys, Key and Anthony, as you mentioned, but I just don't trust Red Autry a lick. So in a matchup between Bill Self and Red Autry, I'll take Bill Self every time, and I'll live with the result.
Yeah, back-to-back, though. Notre Dame, Syracuse, back-to-back. Syracuse being the second end of that back-to-back could cause some problems. It's 2:30. It's kind of mid-afternoon, too, so things to kind of keep in play as well. Like if Syracuse was to get them there, that's a good opportunity. Players there, I don't know if we know who they play yet.
So it was Notre Dame, Syracuse, and then we don't know the third game because it's a tournament style. Yeah.
Okay. Then you follow that up with a game against UConn. You get them at home, but UConn's going to be very good again. This schedule is proven to be like a gauntlet for Kansas right now. Look, I know they don't lose in Fog Allen Fieldhouse, so in the early predictions, I will give them the slight edge here. But this is a brutal stretch of games to open the year up. Being at home or not, Connecticut's back to being really good, like national championship level good. I love what they've done with the additions of Silas Demery coming in. I think this could be one of those games, one of those rare games that if Kansas does not find ways to convert shots, turnovers into points, and actually hit open shots, that you get one of those rare Kansas losses in Allen Fieldhouse.
Agreed.
Then we get to border war here against Mizzou. Look, Mizzou, they've been a good enough team the last couple years. That's a tough place to go play. Kind of your thoughts on that one, because rivalry games always bring out the best, and especially teams that aren't expected to win.
Mm-hmm. Always, and that's on the road at Mizzou. That's going to be a tough game. I'm going to have to look at Mizzou's roster and just kind of refresh myself. Let's see. Anthony Robinson is a player people are really high on. Yeah, that's a weird game because Mizzou should be pretty good defensively, and they've got like some really physical guards that I think that could be a decent test for this Kansas team. And it's hard to win on the road, especially when on the road against a team that hates you. So yeah, that's going to be tough. Like that's not a breeze by any means. Mizzou might even be a small favorite in that game if we get to it, and Kansas does lose the first 2 games to the North Carolina schools as you predicted. Like I could see that. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, I think, man, because it will be a neutral game, right? Missouri, Kansas City. I would expect more Jayhawk fans to show up, to be completely honest, just because they especially out in that area, they travel well. I'll give Kansas that win, but it's another one. This is, and God forbid, we're not even counting for potential injuries or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're going to be really battle tested, but potentially wore down. This could be another one. Missouri clips them, just timing.
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. Like this is not an easy schedule, especially for a team that, all things considered, there are definite questions about, and so many new pieces. Like you're not returning a ton from last year. You got to put these pieces together, and you got to do so quickly.
Then you follow that up with another very tough game, going on the road to what appears to be a top 25 North Carolina State on the road. Dude, this schedule's brutal.
Yeah. Dude, this Towson team is the favorite in the CAA too. They returned Tyler Tejada, who was awesome last year. He's like a 6'8", big, like a 4, who you can just run as the ball handler and pick and rolls. And straight up, not a lot of teams have that. Like that'll be a real test of like how Flory is able to defend on the perimeter. That team's not bad. Like obviously we expect Kansas to win that game, right? But that's not a team you can like just say like, oh yeah, they're going to beat them by 30, no big deal. That Towson team can push them. They'll test them. At least in some aspect, they will test them. That's not a game you can just sleepwalk through.
No, not at all. I totally agree. And then again, Davidson, we've known over the last 15, 20 years what Davidson can be. I'd fully expect Kansas to win that game. But again, you talk about shooting, lack of shooting. One thing Davidson can usually do is shoot from 3. So could they make enough to keep it interesting? I guess we'll have to find out. But I think Kansas should win that. But another one to keep an eye on. Then we start Big 12 play.
Yep.
We start Big 12 play here, and look at this stretch to begin. Texas Tech, Arizona, and then Houston. Your first 3 in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm. So these are all Big Monday games. Yeah, but yeah, brutal.
Oh, they're Big Monday. Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay.
Because ESPN's released that schedule. They haven't released the full conference schedule yet.
Got it. Okay. As I'm saying, shit, back to back to start. That is rough.
Dude, that would have been brutal.
Yeah, that is rough. So the conference slate's not fully fleshed out for Kansas, it doesn't look like.
Mm-hmm.
But that schedule, though, is just so damn tough. Like, I think there's a world where Kansas gets out of that with only like 1 or 2 losses and maybe the number 1 team in college basketball entering conference play. I also see a world where they have like 5 losses heading into conference play.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think like 3-4 losses, I think, is very much on the table. And that'll definitely raise some questions when those games happen of like, is this Kansas team like, are we sure that Bill Self just hasn't fallen off in the portal era? And it's very possible. Like they lost a lot of recruitments. And I don't know how often Bill Self loses recruitments like that, at least even 5 years back. So it's very different, man. It's very different. So yeah, there are definitely going to be some questions that are going to be answered early on in the season for them. And then also, how does a team that is completely new, doesn't have a ton of high major experience, how do you, if it goes wrong, how do you fight back? Do you just say like, look, we're still this team, we're still here? Or like, do you go, shit, man, we might not be ready for it. So it's definitely like, it's going to be tough. They're going to get tested.
Yep. So Kansas, high end, could be the number 1 team in college basketball if they get through this gauntlet of stretch by January, or we could be looking at them like 5 losses and you go into a really tough Big 12, and it's like, where does Kansas fit like you would expect makes the NCAA tournament, but it's another season where they end up with like a 7, 8, or 9 seed. So it could be a very pivotal year for Kansas. We know Darren Peterson's going to be very good. Flory Badungan should make the jump, but what do they get out of everybody else is going to be the key. Guys, I hate to do this. We had a whole show planned out with other teams. I'm getting sicker. Full disclosure, I'm getting very sick right now at the end of the workday, and then right now I don't think I can keep going. So what we'll do is we're going to cut it short here. We will be back here in a couple days. We will bring episode 231. We will cover all these other teams, and we'll start bringing you conference preview predictions. I just feel like I'm about to get sick, and I don't think me getting sick on camera is going to be a good thing. So I understand we've waited 2 months, but what's another couple days? So, DeRosa, you got any final thoughts before we close this out? I know this sucks, but, dude, I'm getting very sick right now.
Yeah, it sucks. You told me before the show you were getting sick, and it's like just hopefully just sometimes you can just power through it. But, yeah, I get it. I feel you. All good. We'll be back in a couple of days. We'll be able to break everything down, and I'll have some more takes ready to just fire out. We'll be ready. But yeah, sucks. But we need our first big show back to be like legit, and we can't be having any flu games this early in the season. Those are for mid-season,
Yeah, I'm sweating like cold sweat. I look like I'm getting pale on camera. So yeah. We will be back in a couple days. Keep an eye on socials. We will have a better show than this, I promise you. But unfortunately, sometimes you can't help being sick, but we hope you guys appreciate this. We are back. We will be back with more regularity, but until here in a couple days later in the week, we will catch you guys down the road. Thank you. Peace.